What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyd and I'm back with some more Age Mythology. The Titans action spawning in at the bottom of the map in the red color, playing as Odin. His name is Ed Sheeran fan, also known as SteveWasHere. Signing up to a tournament with a name and then playing under a different tag? How dare you! His opponent today in the blue color, playing as Odin, is Baritchola. Apologies if I'm saying that wrong. It might be Baritchola. Maybe somebody can tell me if it's a hard C or a ch. Anyways, we're back with a game on Watering Hole. Best of 3 for the Challengers League. In this first game that I saw, this is week 2, I believe. So in the first game that I saw from Steve here, he was a little bit late to the party to start and lost his first game, so he's only had the opportunity to actually play one game so far, which unfortunately he did lose. So moving on to his next series, he's going to try and take a couple games off Baritchola here. Everyone's saying it's Cho, so I'm going to stick with it. So we'll see what happens here. This is definitely an interesting one. Steve did pick Poseidon earlier in his first week game, and now he's swapping over to Odin. So he seems like more of a random god player than anything else, which I do like to see, able to play many different gods on the different maps. And we'll see how this goes. We'll see what they pick in the next game coming. But a mirror war for this first one, another Odin war. I think we saw one of these earlier as well. I think it was Shadowfax versus Matrius. When I talked about how volatile this map is, or this matchup is, because if you get behind, you just basically get stomped. So it's really important to get those units out fast and be very aggressive and be very aware of if you have the advantage or not. And given this gold mine placement here for Baritchola here, and not only that, this gold mine here for Steve, Heimdall here is a good option. I know a lot of players don't like Heimdall because of how good the Valkyrie is for raids. You just leave one Herso back home, and then you just go for it. You make your Ulfsark, you throw an Axeman, and you just push off this gold mine here. If we check out the map a little bit, we do see that the gold mines are nicely placed for both players on both sides of the map. So we've got 2 on one side, 1 on the other. So if he does cut off one side, it's pretty easy to maneuver back over to the other side there. So that's a thing. And now the temple's coming up for Steve and also for Baritchola. But this is a really, really aggressive temple here for Baritchola indeed. Like I said, I much prefer to see temples placed in range of the town center. Otherwise, you're going to be in a difficult position here. And we see both players getting out that final dwarf. Herso already coming out for Baritchola. He's going to be able to click up through Freya. Villagers all over here. So they've got 6 villagers on food right now with 5 villagers on the wood, so that's going to be very, very useful for him to get the longhouses out. And this Herso is somehow building this house from a mile away. That's funny. All's coming up now for Steve, throwing them up nice and early. Herso getting popped out as well. Only wants to build a couple of them, it looks like. No, he's auto queuing them. Another house coming up over here. Ulfsark scouting out, trying to see what's happening inside of Steve's base, but he's going to be playing very, very defensive, and I think looks like so is Baritchola to some degree here. Some more houses are coming up. He is searching for something to do here. On the Raven, scouting around, just seeing what's going on. There's finding the elephant in this corner here. There's a lot of food there to be moving towards. So if he goes onto these gazelle and then makes his way over onto the elephant there, it'll be a nice move there. The Scrowling is going to get pushed away though by the Herso as the Valkyrie spawns. Both players hitting Freya at just about the same time there. Longhouse coming down now for Steve, who's only got the 4 villagers on wood compared to the 5 villagers from Baritchola, who's able to throw down 2 longhouses instantly, and then he's going to start being able to spam those Ulfsarks. Also some really close elephant here would be huge to grab those. And I think he's got both of the elephant on his side of the map as well. So if he can secure that middle of the map, that's some really good food for him. The Valkyrie now moving in, gonna try and sneak past this temple, but stop and give it a bash, indicate to Baritchola that he's there before he's running in. Moving on to these rhinoceros who are gonna actually come and chill over near the forest, which could be bad, but pulling the rhino back. Villagers moving on over to the savanna tree, the straggler tree here next to the town center, so he doesn't get hurt too much by any sort of forest fire. And Barichola's Valkyrie is going to greet Steve's Valkyrie, but they're just running behind each other, having a glorious time, chilling in Barichola's base right now, and the Raven chilling over here looking for maybe a forest fire. But again, forest firing against Odin players or Norse players, not the best idea, because the Ox-Cart can just retreat away and it's totally fine. And the Raven will spot this location here. Valkyrie still running through, trying to throw up some walls to prevent the Valkyrie from getting out, but it's just not going to happen. Lots of HP damage done though, about 100 damage done to the Valkyrie before it gets out of there. And maybe a couple more hits will be enough. Steve, get you retreated. Yep. And now we've got two longhouses for Steve as well. If we check out these population difference, Baritchola is very far, well not very far, 6 population ahead, so that's about 3 Olfsark in front. So we'll see if he can utilize that. A lot of gold though for him. He's making some throwing axemen as well, which I do like. A little bit of house, needs to throw down those houses if he wants to continue building stuff. There's the house going up, the Olfsark moving in for Steve, but he's really not got enough Olfsark to make anything happen here, and he doesn't have Lone Wanderer either, so he can't dodge those throwing axes. So he's going to have to retreat back to his home base and get Lone Wanderer out. He's getting Lone Wanderer and medium infantry here. This Valkyrie in the back looks like it's about to get picked off as he's trying to retreat back to maybe bring some Hersa in to get Mailmaker or Silverback into the action here. And the Valkyrie coming in, and Hersa moving forward. Baritchola not paying attention to this one. Going to try and snipe the Valkyrie. Does get a couple more hits on them. Going to try and surround it with the Olfsarks, which he will be able to do. Get a lot of damage onto that, and then get the final killing blow as these Olfsark try and chase it down. 9 HP is left on that Valkyrie. Does not get the killing blow, but Baritchola is now moving forward. To check out the population, it's still Barichola's advantage is ballooning right now. 84 population to 64 population as SteveWasHere is trying to make some throwing axemen here. He's throwing out a 3rd longhouse. But if you start building those throwing axemen en masse, it's best to throw down a 3rd military building and continue to build those Olfsark and just start squeezing in those throwing axemen as you go along. And we haven't seen that from Baritchola either, but looks like he's kind of working it out nicely himself, just sitting on those 2 military buildings. And both players just happily chilling, defending, not doing anything in this game. But we'll see probably a 2nd town center going, some raids coming up. Do you see the walls are all set up now for Steve? So that's going to alert him to any sort of shenanigans going on, but he's moving forward. We'll see a longhouse going up and running straight into these throwing axemen. He's going to be losing them, but he does decide that he wants to sort of fight here. He's losing even more, loses 3 Olfsark in that fight to just basically pure throwing axemen there. That's not what you want to see. He's trying to move around, looking to hit these gatherers here on the elephant. There is a nice gate set up over here that makes they can just retreat through that one. No problems there, but he will be losing this Ox-Cart because he didn't retreat it as well, and that's kind of annoying. We'll see if another Ox-Cart's going to be coming out, and it is. These villagers are very high on food, so they have to wait for it before they move back out, and that's going to be fine from it. It's probably not a bad idea to just move the gold, like dump all the gold in the dwarves and move the gold mine Ox-Cart forward when that happens. We do see a 2nd town center now coming up for Baritchola. We see gatherers chilling on over on that location there, but this is pretty big for Baritchola getting ahead on the town center race here. Picking off a lot of free units has been huge as well, because now he's got a retreating point here. Moving forward, going to lose a couple of Olfsark on this one, but he's got a retreating point. Just move back to this town center, and it doesn't matter if Steve gets in front on the population, which is actually still not in front, but he's going to be struggling to catch up on the economic situation because Baritchola, every 15 seconds that you are behind on this town center, you're falling behind an extra villager here, and hopefully he cuts village military production here, because you don't need to go to 130 pop in military, but you do want to put the next 15 pop that you get from this town center directly into villages as soon as you possibly can, because you're going to be seeing right now that Baritchola is at 123 pop, not fighting, not doing anything. There's no real avenue to win the game right now. You see these walls coming up as these Ulfs are coming in to get a little bit of damage done. Going to get a couple of pickoffs as he's running around right now trying to kill them. And the Ulfsark's going to be retreating back over here, looking for something to do. The armory is up now for Baritchola. He's going to be looking to go towards the heroic age. We don't see Ed or Steve here going for the next age, which may be the option for him. If he goes through maybe Njord, he can hit a timing on this town center with the mountain giant and everything else, or even Skadi, and see if he can pick off this army getting out of position or something. But the big question is going to be: is it going to matter? I think that look at this. Look at these resources for Baritchola. He's already got 1,100 food in the bank, so I think he's doing very, very nicely indeed. But he's short gold here, and he's moving his dwarves over onto this location. Does he have pickaxe here? He's got pickaxe, no hand axe. Doesn't matter at this point, and we'll see if he can get his way to the heroic age before Baritchola, who is actually, or before Steve, who is trying to get there as fast as he possibly can. Oh, actually, no, he's going for a second town center. Very delayed second town center. So I'm not sure I fully understand the reasoning behind that one, apart from, I better catch up to my opponent on town centers here. To check out this, he's got enough resources to advance. Baritchola, on the other hand, is going through Skadi already. Does he have 800 gold food in the bank? So much food in the bank right there. Maybe he's actually just going to go straight to the mythic age as well after this. And we will be seeing Skadi coming through for Steve as well. So it's 40% Skadi for Baritchola to, or I would say 50% Skadi to 20%. Just 30% behind on that one there. About 20 seconds behind. And a couple of these throwing axes getting picked off. We do see the longhouse coming up. Units moving forward, going to be trying to take down the longhouse of Baritchola. These units moving forward, and we may be seeing some sort of a fight here. Potentially a frost. No, needs to chill. Pun not intended there. Maybe get that Huntress Axe straight away would be huge. Playing very defensive still. We see the Skadi has come through for Steve right now. And looking like maybe Baritchola, he's got his third town center. He's just pumping these units out, or these villages out, looking for something over here. There's only lions, potentially throwing up a market in this corner. It's definitely better to throw it up over here, but I think he's looking for his elephant or something. These villages, looking for something. He does have gazelle over here, eating elephant over here. So this is a huge advantage right now for Baritchola in terms of food. And Ed Sheeran fan and Steve is asked to move all the way over here to eat these elephant. He does have zebra over here. He's got some zebra here, but it's just not the same. He's got some elephant here actually, so that's fine. Ulfsark's chilling over here. We see heavy infantry comes in, and nice timing here from Steve to come in as Baritchola retreats away. He's going to get a little bit of a raid on here, not paying attention to his Ulfsark that runs straight past these food villages, and he's just got nothing out of that apart from moving these guys away, trying to save the ox cart as well. Steve trying to move in and out. The Frost Giants have got their Rhyme upgrade to turn them into Therm Frost Giants. He does get that special attack onto the Frost Giant there, but it's not going to be enough to pick it off, as the other Frost Giant will have to retreat, taking a lot of damage by those Hursa. And that's totally fine. We do see the Ulfsarks going after Baritchola's base right now. Do we see Balder coming through? We do have Balder coming through for Steve here. So we'll see if that Ragnarok can do anything or not. There's still a lot of throwing axemen. We've got a temple coming up in the front for Baritchola. Houses coming back up as these Ulfsark are looking for some raids onto these villages here. The throwing axemen trying to chase them around and see what damage they can do. We've got Ulfsark moving up to the top, going after the ox cart here as well. And these throwing axemen are here, but these Ulfsark are speedy. You can distract them quite well by just running around, but he's not doing so. We see a frost coming down here for Steve, but he hits a lot of those units. Frost there for Baritchola. There's the Ragnarok coming in for Ed Sheeran for Steve. He's sitting at only 211 population though, as he's going to be moving all of these units in. Steve's got only Iron Mail here. Do we see any upgrades coming in? No, but Baritchola is on his way to Balder here, 30% on his way. So he's just going to probably sacrifice buildings here, potentially sacrifice the town center, retreat these villages away, and then it's just going to be a bigger Ragnarok for Baritchola here. We'll see if he can take down this town center or not. There's still no heavy infantry here. Do we have Huntress Axe or not for the heavy throwing axe? With no upgrades for them. They get the frost does come out. A couple of free hits onto these Ulfsark, and Steve going to be retreating away. All of these heroes of Ragnarok going after this one, going after the ox cart there, trying to pick off these villages as they're getting away. There's forest fire there. Is this going to be the biggest forest fire of the year? Not quite. Only picking off 2 villages as they're running away. The throwing axeman trying to chase them down. Every single one of these that he picks off is absolutely huge, because it really hurts the Ragnarok that's going to be coming in for Steve as he's trying to get away. But 90% Balder here trying to get onto these guys, and it's looking like an immediate Ragnarok here for Baritchola is the option. There's a forest fire onto this army here. Ragnarok comes in for Baritchola, 243 population to 169 population here. This is a nice fight though for Steve, as only some of these Ragnarok heroes are here, and a lot of the throwing axemen doing so much damage currently. More Ragnarok heroes coming in right now, going to be bashing their way through Steve here, but they're not attacking just yet. These throwing axemen doing so much damage, but as soon as these Rag heroes start attacking, it's really big, and they start picking off these throwing axemen like they are absolutely nothing here. It's 127 population now for Steve to 174 population for Baritchola. All of Steve's Rag heroes are getting picked off currently, and there's so much left over for Baritchola, and this just looks absolutely brutal for Steve as he does tap out. GG, well played by Baritchola, taking game number 1 in this best of 3 series with just some impeccable macro play there, and unfortunately for Steve, not able to keep up with town center timings and all of that junk there. And Baritchola gets the win. Move on to game number 2 very shortly. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and we'll get the game going soon.